Welcome to the Capital Spreads Weekly Update. Today is Wednesday the 15th of February 2012. And the week so far, well, there's been quite a lot of political and economic news at the moment which has certainly helped move the markets around. The news on the whole has actually been quite positive and has helped both boost the equity markets as well as improve general market sentiment. We had, for example, news out of Greece which stated that they are very close to agreeing a bailout package for that country. Just this morning we also had Eurozone GDP figures come out much better than expected. France, for example, showed a surprise increase in its GDP in the last quarter, while Germany's GDP fell a lot less than many analysts were expecting. We also had statements come out of China which said that they were willing to buy further Eurozone financial assets, as well as make further investments in the Eurozone. Now that gave another further boost and a confidence boost, I should say, to the Eurozone and the problems that it currently seems to be having. Also very recently we had UK inflation figures come out which showed a sharp fall to around 3.5% or so. Now this will provide further respite to many of the people that have been struggling when inflation's been moving up around 5%, and there's a belief that inflation could actually fall further from here. Not only that, the production figures continue to improve both out of the US as well as the Eurozone, and we also have on the whole corporate earnings which seem to be much better than expected. Now it has to be, you have to bear in mind that although the sentiment on the whole is actually very positive, it still remains very fragile, and it does not take a lot for market sentiment to completely flip around and turn negative. So looking at the FTSE as it currently stands, it's trading around 58.85. It's down about 20 points or so on the day. The FTSE continues on the whole to grind higher from here, and the short-term target certainly seems to be around 6,000. If they manage to hit 6,000, you're possibly looking at to break up to around 6,100 or so. However, as I've mentioned in a number of my commentaries before, 6,000 seems to be a very strong level for the FTSE, and quite pivotal at that. It finds it very difficult to break away from this, both on the upside as well as on the downside. However, given the fact that the FTSE continues to sit above its 200-day moving average, and on the whole with an easing on inflation and a belief that the UK economy may gradually improve from here, you could certainly see FTSE going up to around 6,100 and possibly even 6,200. On the downside, if it fails to break higher from here, you're looking at support around maybe 5,750 and down to about 5,500. Oil also continues to remain very topical, and now the obvious reason for this is the tensions that continue to escalate with Iran. Just this morning you had the Iranian news agency announce that Iran's cutting supply to 6 Eurozone countries. However, it has to be kept in mind that the Eurozone on the whole has decided that it will stop taking and buying oil from Iran by the beginning of July. We also have further sanctions being proposed by the US, as well as sanctions that have already been enacted, and there's also continuing tensions and beliefs that Iran could possibly close the Straits of Hormuz, where you have at least 25% of global oil traveling through. In terms of the week going forward, we have a number of figures over the next few days or so which could certainly help move the markets around. Just this evening, for example, you have FOMC minutes coming out of the United States. Now many people aren't expecting any change in stance regarding US interest rates, at least for the next 2 years or so, but it'll certainly be interesting to see what sort of stance and view that the US Federal Reserve seems to be having. Tomorrow you have the US PPI and home starts coming out of the United States, while on Friday you're looking at UK retail sales and US CPI. Next week on Tuesday you have the Eurozone CPI also coming out. In terms of client activity, many of our clients have been selling into the rallies we've had recently, believing that the news might have reached a peak and we could certainly see some correction from here. So for example, you have many clients selling into the US indices, the FTSE, the DAX, believing that we could see a small correction. They, however, continue to hold long positions in both gold and silver, and as I mentioned in my commentaries before, that position seems to be seems to have been put on for a long period of time and doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon. Most recently, they've gone also long both Euro Swiss as well as Dollar Swiss. I believe the view on that seems to be that the Swiss central bank might be involved in further intervention there, although there is no certain concrete news regarding that. In terms of the theme of the week, I would say the theme of the week seems to be very much the ongoing political news as well as the economic news, and the fact that we're getting a lot of news at the moment which is certainly moving the markets around, be it Greece, China, the Eurozone or the United States. There's certainly some news somewhere that is helping move the market around and change market sentiment, and it looks like in the next few days or so that will certainly continue to remain the case. That's it for now. As usual, if you have any feedback, it's media@capitalspreads.com.